Hello guys, this is Steno for All YouTube channel. Here we provide you Hindi or English shorthand dictations at different speed. Today I am going to provide you English dictation at the speed of 80 which will help you in various Steno skill tests. Get ready for 80 word per minute shorthand dictation. Start. Two ideas appear to dominate our public discourse today. One, somewhat implicitly self interest, the second, far more explicitly national glory. How the pursuit of material or cultural self interest affects others does not seem to bother us. There is little acknowledgement that the pursuit of greed and narrow self interest leads to severe inequalities, to an unequal division of social benefits. Also missing is the thought that the burden of realizing national goals such as development must be shared equally by all. True, nothing of importance is achieved without sacrifice. But why should some people sacrifice virtually everything they have and others benefit without foregoing anything at all? Given the compulsion to advance our self interest, this burden is easily passed on to those among us who are powerless to resist it. Isn't it wrong that the least paid workers and peasants in our society are expected to offer the greatest sacrifices for building the nation? Why this grossly unfair division of social labor? Yet concerns for a fair distribution of benefits and burdens, the core issue of justice, is rare in mainstream public discourse. Sharing benefits and burdens. What is distributive justice and why does it matter? Almost 2 decades ago, my younger daughter startled me by asking, "What is justice, Baba?" I happened then to have a bottle of water before me, so I began explaining to her. There are many things I can do with this bottle. I can grab it even if I am not thirsty, keeping it solely for myself. Or out of love, I can give it to you even if I am thirsty. Finally, I can give it to some other person not because I love her, but because I can see that she needs it most. This is justice. A few days later, as we stopped our car at the traffic lights, a beggar came expectantly towards us and we gave him a packet of biscuits. My daughter immediately said, "That's justice, no?" We gave something away to him even though we don't love him. My daughter hadn't grasped the concept of justice just yet, but she was on the right track. At the very least, justice requires that we not be greedy and grab things. Instead, we share them with those we do not know or love. Simply put, a sense of justice is born when we begin sharing things with strangers. In fact, the idea of distributive justice presupposes not only a social condition marked by an absence of love or familiarity, but also others which the Scottish philosopher David Hume termed the circumstances of justice. For instance, a society where everything is abundantly available would not need justice. Each of us will have as much of everything we want. Without the necessity of sharing, justice becomes redundant. Equally, in a society with massive scarcity, justice is impossible. In order to survive, each person is compelled to grab whatever happens to be available. Justice, therefore, is possible and necessary in societies with moderate scarcity. Justice also presupposes that people are neither totally alone nor organically united with others. If one was Robinson Crusoe, there would be no one with who to share. And if one was totally fused with others, with no distinction between self and other, then again sharing will be unnecessary. Surely one cannot share anything with oneself. To sum up, justice acquires value in societies with moderate scarcity, where people are forced to deal with those who they don't love. It presupposes a moral psychology in which humans are neither wholly selfish nor entirely benevolent. Since most societies share these conditions, we may safely conclude that justice is a necessary social virtue and has great moral value, giving persons their due. But what is justice? The basic idea of justice is that each person gets what is properly due to him or her, that the benefits and burdens of society be distributed in a manner that gives each person his or her due. But this begs the question, what is meant by a person's due? Here, a distinction must be made between hierarchical and egalitarian notions of justice. In hierarchical notions, what is due to a person is established by her or his place within a hierarchical system. For instance, by rank determined at birth. Certain groups are born privileged. Therefore, their members are entitled to a disproportionately large share of benefits and a disproportionately small share of burdens. On this conception, justice requires that the benefits and burdens be unequally shared or distributed. To take just one example, in a society ridden with caste hierarchies, those born in high castes are entitled to a much greater share of wealth, power, culture, status, and knowledge. Conversely, those born in low castes get whatever is their proper due, very little, sometimes nothing. This conception of justice has rarely remained unchallenged. Innumerable examples can be cited in Indian history where aspects of this hierarchical